Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Ambassador Takeshi Akamatsu, Permanent Observer of Japan to the Council of Europe, and his spouse, as well as the members of our permanent mission of Japan, would like to warmly welcome you to this residence, and a huge welcome also to those who are following this ceremony through streaming live on YouTube. I now would like to begin the official conferment ceremony in honor of Mrs. BATTAINI-DRAGONI, former Deputy Secretary General of the Council of Europe, who will be conferred with the Order of the Rising Sun, the decoration Golden Rays with Neck Ribbon, on behalf of the Japanese government. Due to the sanitary situations, we are organizing this official ceremony in an adapted manner with a limited number of guests. In order to secure the possibility of attendance to those who unfortunately are not able to attend physically, this ceremony is being live streamed on YouTube with the permission of the laureate, and we thank her for her kind acceptance and understanding. The official ceremony will take place as follows. Firstly, Ambassador Akamatsu will deliver his congratulatory speech to Mrs. BATTAINI-DRAGONI. Secondly, the laureate will be presented the patent of decoration and the medal decoration by the ambassador. In return, we will have the honor to listen to an intervention from the laureate. Then, Mme. Gabriella, Secretary General of the Council of Europe, will deliver her congratulatory speech. The speeches will be followed by a group photo, which will close the official part of the ceremony. To begin with, Ambassador Takeshi Akamatsu, Permanent Observer of Japan to the Council of Europe, will deliver his speech and convey his congratulations to Mrs. BATTAINI-DRAGONI. Ambassador, you have the floor.
Now switch is on. So, Ms. Gabriella BATTAINI-DRAGONI, former Deputy Secretary General of the Council of Europe, Ms. Maria Pejnovic-Bridge, the Secretary General of the Council of Europe, and Ambassador Michele Giacomelli, Permanent Representative of Italy to the Council of Europe. And ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Thank you for joining us today to celebrate the conferment of the Order of Rising Sun, Gold Rays with Neck Ribbon to Ms. Gabriella BATTAINI-DRAGONI, former Deputy Secretary General of the Council of Europe. This prestigious decoration is bestowed on her for her long and sustained contribution to strengthening of relations and promotion of mutual understanding between Japan and Europe during her long and illustrious career in the Council of Europe. In normal times, we would like to have shared this moment with more people here, including family members of Ms. BATTAINI-DRAGONI, as well as her friends and colleagues from the Council, as well as from the Diplomatic Corps. Unfortunately, sanitary conditions regarding the COVID-19 obliges us to stay in smaller number. But I believe through virtual linkage over internet, a method which has become so familiar with us, will connect us more than ever before to celebrate Ms. BATTAINI-DRAGONI's outstanding achievements. During a career spanning over 55 years in various positions within the Secretariat of the Council, Mrs. BATTAINI-DRAGONI has never ceased to demonstrate her full dedication to the activities of the organization. And I believe it would be superfluous and even awkward for me to go over every details of her professional achievements, all the more so since I'm still quite new here. Mrs. BATTAINI-DRAGONI, during your service, you have covered a wide spectrum of issues, ranging from social integration and anti-discrimination to youth involvement, sport, with particular attention to anti-doping strategy and gender equality, among all others, before serving as the Deputy Secretary General since 2012. As a DSG, you have put into action your firm commitment of reaching out to non-European states. Along with your strong attachment to the protection of vulnerable people, I was impressed from our very first meeting the high importance that you have attached to direct human relationship with every member and observer state alike. And of course, I clearly remember our last meeting at your office, which I took advantage of your attachment to personal meetings. I wish I could share with you all the pleasant surprise and still wider smile you have shown me when informed of today's declaration. It's a privilege only a few ambassadors could enjoy. And it is because of your continued effort in outreaching to Japan that my government has decided on this prestigious declaration. Mrs. BATTAINI-DRAGONI, undoubtedly you have played a crucial role in the course of the previous decades in bridging the Council of Europe and Japan. One of the highlights of such cooperation with Japan is the Intercultural City Program. Your work as intercultural coordinator greatly facilitated Japanese participation to the ICC program, and it was under this framework that you made your first visit to Japan, visiting several cities. You were one of the first to introduce the concept of intercultural cities at the symposium in Tokyo. Had it not been for your enthusiasm, the city of Hamamatsu may not have joined the ICC program, as I'm convinced that it was your passionate encouragement to the mayor of the Hamamatsu city that it started consideration to become the first Japanese or even first Asian ICC member. And the ICC program is now ready to welcome another Japanese city, which happens to be my hometown, Kobe, in the very near future. Last month, as part of our 25th anniversary commemorative events, we successfully organized 2 seminars with participation from both cities, with your recorded introductory remarks where the importance of interculturalism in the Asia-Pacific region was underlined. Now the term Tabunka Kyosei, the official Japanese translation of interculturalism, is widely known and is used in official documents, demonstrating the firm acceptance of the concept in our country. Promotion of gender equality was yet another area in which you have always been enthusiastic. And it was not coincidence that under your leadership as a Director General of Social Cohesion, effectiveness of various programs in promotion of gender equality attracted Japanese authority, namely the Gender Equality Bureau of Japan, to become an observer to the Steering Committee in 2001. More recently, as the government of Shinzo Abe placed gender equality as the priority policy, we have organized several seminars and symposia here in Strasbourg. At these occasions, your dialogue with Japanese experts in this field, notably Professor Asako Osaki and Professor Yoko Hayashi, former chairperson of CEDAW, helped them reaffirm the importance of sharing common understanding with their European counterparts. Your intervention at the gender equality event held at the EU delegation in Tokyo back in May 2019 left a strong impression among the audience, especially of the younger generation. Through all these activities, you have continued to disseminate achievements of the Council of Europe, and it is safe to say that thanks to your activities, COE has become a spiritual reference point among the experts and younger generations working to promote gender equality in Japan. Mrs. BATTAINI-DRAGONI, during your visit, a private visit to Japan in 2019, you also managed to meet with some of senior officials of the various ministries, including Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Education, and among others, and thus resumed high-level exchanges which had been suspended for some time. As a result, you also helped raise visibility of the Council of Europe in Japan. During your stay, you even might have passed before my office doors at the ministry. Should I have met you then, I could have helped you to explore a little more of Tokyo. but let's leave it for our next occasion. And here in Strasbourg, you have continued to honor us with your presence at various events and were always ready to extend support to the activities of our office. You have always welcomed many Japanese visitors regardless of their affiliation or their ranks. And more importantly, you have provided us with a guidance, for instance, on the choice of areas for enhancing cooperation ties with the Council. Japan's involvement in the deliberations of artificial intelligence and the active participation of the work of KAHAI derive from one such advice of yours. Last but not least, last February, while you were busy preparing for your departure, you have managed to secure some time to send us a recorded message on the occasion of our National Day. In that message, you have stressed and reminded us that our shared values, namely human rights, democracy, and rule of law, are at the very basis of Europe-Japan cooperation, thus bridging physical distance that separate us. To sum up, for our strong partnership with the Council of Europe, as is demonstrated by our 25th anniversary of the observer status, which we celebrate this year, Japan owes you a lot. Mrs. BATTAINI-DRAGONI, you have been a big fan of Japan for a long time, especially in culinary culture, architecture, and all traditional designs. And my colleagues stand witness how energetically and enthusiastically you enjoy your visit to Kyoto, accompanied by your daughter. We are very glad to have had such a strong supporter of my country at the core of the Council of Europe. And I'm convinced that the path you set for our bilateral cooperation, both officially and privately, will continue to be enhanced in the years to come. As you leave the office of the Deputy Secretary General of the Council of Europe, you'll be greatly missed. But I sincerely wish you all the best in new chapter in your life and hope that you remain, as you have been, a very good friend of my country. Mrs. Gabriella BATTAINI-DRAGONI, it is my great pleasure and honor to reciprocate here today your sustained contribution to the strengthening of relations and promotion of mutual understanding between Japan and Europe throughout your successful career at the Council of Europe, with this official commendation of the Order of the Rising Sun, gold lace with neck ribbon. On behalf of the government of Japan, and in the name of His Majesty the Emperor, I'd like to reiterate our deepest gratitude and heartfelt congratulations to you, dear Gabriella. Thank you very much.
We will now hand over the decoration to the laureate. The certificate will first be read in its original Japanese version and then in its English translation.
Japanese 天皇はイタリア国人ガブリエラ・バッタイニ・ドラゴーニに旭日中綬章を贈与する皇居において辞をおさせる。令和2年11月3日、内閣総理大臣菅義偉、内閣府商訓局局長小野田聡。Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
The English translation reads, Patent of Decoration, number 14,391. The Emperor of Japan does hereby confer upon Gabriella BATTAINI-DRAGONI, citizen of the Italian Republic, the Order of the Rising Sun, golden race with neck ribbon. In witness thereof, the seal of state has been affixed to these presents at the Imperial Palace, the 3rd day, the 11th month, the 2nd year of Reiwa. Signed, Yoshihide Suga, Prime Minister, and Hiromu Onoda, Director General of Decoration Bureau, Cabinet Office. Now, I have the honor and pleasure to invite Mrs. BATTAINI-DRAGONI to express some words. Please, Madam, you have the floor.
Dear Ambassador, Madam Secretary General, distinguished guests, it is with pride and gratitude that I accept the Order of the Rising Sun, gold race with neck ribbon. When I first joined the Council of Europe 45 years ago, I could never have imagined that this honor would one day be offered to me. But now, in my first days after I left the organization, there could be no more special or memorable event than this. My heart is full, and I am humbled. This year marks the 25th anniversary of Japan's observer status at the Council of Europe. That partnership has drawn from shared values: human rights, democracy, and the rule of law. Together, we have nurtured it, and we have grown closer and stronger as a result. Within the Council of Europe, Japan has worked on issues ranging from history teaching and peace building to the prevention of cybercrime, from mutual assistance in tax matters to the integration of refugees and migrants. And during my career, especially in my years as Deputy Secretary General, I have had the great opportunity to cooperate with Japan directly on some issues of common concern. This includes our exchange of ideas on the prevention of violence against women, including how the Council of Europe Istanbul Convention might be put to further use in Asia, not only in Japan, but in other countries in Asia. And Japan's interest and now participation in the concept of intercultural cities, with Tokyo adopting its first intercultural policy plan on 2016, with Amamatsu, and you refer to it, joining the International Intercultural Cities Network a year later, and Kobe planning to do so soon, we hope. Without doubt, this will help their communities stand together and will create opportunity for all. In recent years, I've been able to travel to Japan and discuss these and other issues that you refer to. And I did it with a range of very impressive people, very impressive people. During my time there, I have had just a sample of the beauty, the charm, and the culture of this wonderful and, for us European, enigmatic country. Nothing compares to it. And in my retirement, now I have every intention of visiting again and learning more. Certainly, well, when I will look at this order, in the years ahead, I will recall the good relations that we have built and the progress that we have made together. For me, these gold rays illuminate the promise of our shared values. May they shine brightly in the years to come. Thank you for this honor.
Thank you very much, Madam. At present, Mrs. Pejčinović-Burić, Secretary General of the Council of Europe, will deliver a few words of congratulations. Please, Madam, the floor is yours.
Ambassador, distinguished guests, dear Gabriella, it is a great pleasure for me to share this very special moment with you, very touching moment. The Order of the Golden Sun, a gold race with neck ribbon, is not awarded lightly. Rather, the Japanese authorities choose with care and precision those who merit it. And in choosing you, dear Gabriella, they have chosen very well. During your 45 years of extraordinary service to the Council of Europe, you witnessed many important changes in the organization. Among these was Japan's arrival as an observer state 25 years ago. Over the last quarter of a century, Japan and the Council of Europe have continued to build a strong and mutually beneficial relationship. And you have always been one of its greatest advocates, as we heard, not least during your distinguished tenure as Deputy Secretary General. This is because you have always understood that while the Council of Europe's standards on human rights, democracy, and the rule of law are anchored in our organization, they are also based on values shared by governments and people well beyond Europe's borders. And that this serves as a foundation for joint action. So your work with Japan on intercultural cities and on countering violence against women, and your obvious relish in visiting the country and building closer relationships, these speak to your deep enthusiasm, as we heard, for looking outwards and achieving more. The decision to bestow this award came at a fitting moment. It is right that there should be an honor of this magnitude at the end of your tenure as Deputy Secretary General. Your work at the Council of Europe has left a lasting impression with memorable achievements in youth, sports, culture, and much more. The professional legacy you have left behind is weighty and lasting, and the personal affection in which you are so widely held remains too. Thank you for all that you have done in building stronger relations with Japan, in advancing our common values, and for inviting me to share this very special moment with you today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Madam Secretary General. Now, we would like to take some group photos. Would you please be so nice as to move in front of the golden screen? We will prepare chairs, so we kindly ask Mrs. BATTAINI-DRAGONI, Mrs. Pejčinović-Burić, and Ambassador Akamatsu to take a seat. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, YouTube live streaming followers, with this photo session, the official commendation ceremony comes to an end and the live streaming will be closed now. Thank you very much for your virtual participation. Wish you a nice afternoon and goodbye.